don't remember asking you a goddamn thing.
What up, what up, what up? Good evening. Peace, blessings, glory, praise, and honor to the Most High. Happy Saturday, good folks. I hope all is well. I thank you for being in attendance. Shout out to my poets, writers, my artists in general. My hats off to you. Much love. You know, that's my first heart right there. I hope you're enjoying your weekend so far. Staying hydrated, keeping them waters cool, or whatever temperature you prefer that. We gotta have a conversation tonight. You see the title. I got a clip for y'all. I don't know if I'm getting numb to it or it's just so frequent that I don't really know how to emote anymore because it's just back to back. But this was tragic, heartbreaking. Every emotion that you could possibly think of. And I'm kind of just over it. Nonetheless, though, we have a conversation because if we know, who will, right? So I'm gonna play this clip. We're gonna get the show started. I'm gonna share my thoughts, and we're gonna go from there. Let me bring this up on the big screen. Real quick. Let's see how I want to do this.
But they didn't just murder him. They physically and emotionally tortured him.
2 teenage foster children stabbed a 13-year-old boy and then drowned him in a lake. This is unreal. A South Carolina teenager had just been placed into a foster home when he was killed by 2 other older teen boys who were living at the home as well. 13-year-old Daryl Lowery's body was reportedly found this past Monday, and it was in a lake near a residential dock in Modoc, South Carolina. This was hours after authorities said he had a fight with 17-year-old Landon Moore and an unnamed 16-year-old boy. I'm assuming the 16-year-old isn't being named because of his age. According to authorities, Landon, the older suspect, and the other teenage boy who was 16 years old, they were both charged with murder and they are in custody. It was said Landon and the other teen allegedly stabbed Daryl before they dragged him to a lake and then they held him underwater. According to reports, the 2 suspects were both foster children who were staying at the home of McCormick County Council Chairman Bernie Hamby. The victim, Daryl, had reportedly been placed into this foster home recently, and that was as a temporary foster child while he waited on a more permanent living situation. It was said Bernie, the councilman who owned the home, was asleep during the early morning hours.
But they didn't just murder him. They
Do y'all know why I play that music before every video or after every video? I play that specific music because I'm always trying to wrap my mind around the way some people's mind work. Like when they commit these crimes, or like this makes social media front lines, it's never anything normal. My condolences, first of all. My heart goes out to everybody affected by this. This young man should still be alive. There's no excuse for this. And I can't express the level of disgruntled frustration and anger I feel. They treated him like he was nothing. And for whatever reason, doesn't seem like anybody cares. Not a lick. I see you in the studio. I'm gonna bring you up. 1 second. Yeah. You there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm coming in.
Clear.
Yeah, man, that was just a terrible story, man. You just played um like you I guess, like you was trying to explain in the beginning of this. I guess it goes on and on, right? This just another piece to the puzzle. You know, we said it plenty of times, but people got to open their eyes, man, a little bit better. That was that was just terrible. That was terrible. I mean, it ain't no excuse for that. When are we gonna wake up as a society? I'm still waiting on that. Will we ever wake up?
Yeah, the odds are very slim, to be honest with you. Uh First of all, it's already bad enough in the foster system. But then you end up getting into an altercation with another person. And then it's not even fair. They jump you. Like, how does this even occur in the first place? How do you end up in the same place under the same conditions? And it gets to such extreme that you take a knife or whatever instrument you use, you stab this person, and then you hold them under water until they're lifeless. See, that to me goes beyond just, oh, you fighting your opposition. There's a level of rage and hatred there that can't be identified, but maybe it can. And I don't know if that's the direction y'all want to go, but we can definitely take it there. I watched this video twice. I was done with it. I didn't even want to do the video, to be honest with you, because I see enough white on black. I'm constantly here in front of the computer, so I'm always scrolling. And I can tell you right now, there's at least 5 more stories lined up just like this. Maybe not directly similar, but it's white on black or some mysterious as suicide. One side of me wants to talk about, the other side of me is tired of talking about the shit. Because people don't give a damn. But if I don't say nothing, ain't nobody else gonna say nothing. So it's like, all right, well, they gotta be done. But it's exhausting. It's tiresome.
Yeah, man. I was gonna ask you a question on that act, and based off this discussion that we talking about again tonight, we know it's a rerun. We get that. It's definitely a rerun. Um, but my question I want to shoot to you, man, is what what goes through your mind when you hear white on black versus when you hear black on black? What is the difference? What is the difference in what people see? I mean, outside of the, of course, outside of the skin tone and all that. You on mute, sir. I didn't hear anything. You on mute.
The only difference is the energy towards the death of one versus the other. That's the only thing I've ever noticed. The white on black, everybody is in an uproar. Black on black, it's not so much. Oh, we used to it. It happens. What's on TV? Oh, a black kid got killed by a white boy. Turn up, repost, share, like, clip every article, call Al Sharpton, storm the White House. Oh, a black on black person killed somebody. That was their color. Oh, SummerSlam is on. LeBron just went to the 76ers. Does that answer your question? The level of concern or care is different.
I like you going back to what you said with the energy, man. I just feel like that's a huge difference in when it's done on both sides of the spectrum. When these cases come up, when these physical altercations happen, I just feel like on one side uh it's really done from a straight, for different reasons. I mean, yeah, it both of it does happen. We see a lot of black on black crimes. But the white on black is just done from um a different eye scope, I would say. Like, let's just go back to the incident tonight when you up in those group homes and stuff. And first of all, anybody that had to go in a group home, you know who have been in there, taken away from your own family, you already, treated like scum. I'm gonna just go ahead and put it on the table. You you didn't even stay around your own family, so you had to go and join up with somebody else's family. That's not even yours. So it's already a level of, you know disgust even having you in their presence. Because why you couldn't get it done in your household? Why did your family fail you to put you in there? So you got all these kids that's adolescents, and they taking all that trauma shit up in there, taking it out on each other. Now, it's been plenty of times where, like I say, it's been black on black in a situation like that, and kids from the same race jump another kid, and they jump them, beat them good, whatever. But when you showed the video of this, when you showed this tonight, it didn't feel that way. That's what I'm saying. It was done on a different type of level. You see what I'm saying? It was deliberate. It wasn't called for. It was straight up, you know, straight hate, straight hate crime. You might have a disagreement, but honestly, what did he? You gotta get a motive to do something like that. What was the motive there? What did he do to him for him to commit this to him in that situation? I don't see that. I don't see that transpiring to make him go and stab and like you say, drown this boy. Plus, he was older than him. On top of that, so he wasn't even in your age group. Excuse, it's just like drowning your little brother or something. Hold, come on. He wasn't even in the same. He wasn't even in the same age group, and you did that though. What was the adults? Oh, I forgot. You in a group home. They don't give a shit. Let's put that on the table. They don't give a shit. They're receiving a check for you. They're getting some type of compensation for you even staying in there. So, but stuff like that does happen in that environment. It was just sad in this day and time, especially off of the events that's been occurring lately. Going back to Nolan is hitting a little different. Going back to Carmelo, you know, whether people have noticed it or not, I'm gonna put it on the table tonight. It's a damn ripple effect. That's what I've been seeing. A whole ripple effect of some bullshit with these cases. in these murders. You got it.
I would say that the upbringing played a role in this because it does. But I think we're beyond that now at this point. I think the bigger question is where's the resolve? You're not going to, like, you're not just going to stop it right there. All right, you got them. Cool. But there's a spirit that's floating around in the universe, and a lot of black people are being targeted in the process because the propaganda that continuously gets perpetuated in social spaces is causing a large portion of the people to come out and act in ways that is creating these conversations way more often than they were before. How do we cut that snake's head off so that it trickles down to everybody who is being influenced in such a manner that they would take their ignorance out on people who have nothing to do with how they feel about themselves or the people around them? Because you can kill as many black people as you want. Black people are unbothered by you. Black people don't really pay y'all no mind. We don't give a damn about what you got going on. We mind our business. But you keep poking and poking and poking the bear with intentions on starting something that is not going to be very good for either side. There needs to be a balance. There needs to be some checks, and there needs to be some people that's held accountable, especially in the foster care system. I've done a few stories about y'all, and they're not really pretty. Whether or not the family decided to take and give their kids away or not, you still have a job to do at that point once they're in your possession or in your care. You have to make sure they go to the right places, give them the best shots. So that I think there's too many factors to play in that create these problems that we see today. But I'm disgusted at the fact that this young man lost his life like that. Now, I mean, I don't know what else you want me to say. It is what it is with that. What you gonna do? You got him. He locked up. It's not gonna stop there. But then, like I told you already, I got 5 more stories like that saved, ready to go. Some of them are private. Some of them already out. Cycle is not going to stop tonight. So now what?
All I know is that you don't see a lot. Um, you don't see a lot of this happening on the other side. Um, if you flip the script, I don't see it going down the other way. You know, people can bring up the Carmelo, Anthony, Austin, Metcalf thing all they want to, but it's still that's rare as hell what happened there. what this happened right here, this is more of a reoccurring thing than it happening the other way. Meaning, you don't hear a lot of cases of black people just straight up rage, hate crimes taking place on white people. You don't hear that. We can go back to the 14-year-old in that store that lost his life, got shot. 14 years old. Like I said, streams before, it's several names we can run down. How come we can't do that on the other side? Because you can't even remember no names. If you flip this around, you can't remember nobody's names. Like you say, Al Sharpton, Ben Crump, Tyler Perry getting involved. All these people getting involved. Come on. When have that ever had to happen on the other side? We only get that type of support because we're the only ones in that position where we have to go get those supporters. Nobody else has our back. That's what's going on in this world. So when you see stuff like people retaliate or lash back out to protect themselves, self-defense, you know, you got to come in, got to come into play sometime. Now, in this case here, that boy wasn't minding his business. I don't believe he had no issues with any of them. The only thing I can really see playing out why that happened because of the situation and the atmosphere that these kids got to share space, and they're in there with other kids, other foster kids, man. If you're in a situation like that, you might be considered like a bastard or something. Like you don't pretty much if you way these kids feel. I'm not saying it's the truth all the time, but it is some of the time. The way these kids feel when you put them in a foster home situation with people that's not their family, of course they feel like they're not loved by their family going in there. Their own family don't love them no more. That's what's in their mind. Now, when you got that going on and you going up in there, wouldn't you have your guards up for somebody who think they supposed to be trying to show you love at that point? If I feel like my own family don't love me, hell no, I don't think nobody in here do. So I gotta be on guard. I gotta be on point. That's a very uncomfortable environment. Let me put that out there. You're not comfortable being in somebody else's space, somebody else's home, and you don't supposed to be. Because it's not where you from. It's not your home. It's not your family. It's supposed to be uncomfortable. So with that being said, you sharing a space with other kids. It's a whole lot of violent little motherfuckers come up in there. You don't know what they past was like or how out of control they was to their family. And then they bring all that up in there. You know what I'm saying? We gotta look into that a little more deeper because we don't the way that happened, man, it couldn't have been it couldn't have been a lot of care for these kids. And that's what, like you touched on, that's what their job is. Their job title is to show the kids a new life, man. They already feel like the family failed them. So, why can't they show them something different? Why can't they put him on the right track?
Except you're not getting that. Most of these people take these kids in for extra check.
Yeah, I stated that.
So yeah, so they don't have no desire to do none of that hallmark shit that you're talking about. There was one video where the woman was keeping an autistic kid in the the garage outside in her yard.
Damn, didn't he have a room?
No room. And then there was another drink. Like, them conditions don't be what people think they is. I've done at least 5 different videos on these drinks. And the abuse that goes into them establishments, them houses be trash. One woman had the refrigerator locked. She had locks from the top to the bottom of the drink. She was locking the kids in the closets and all type of shit. So it's not. I'm not saying it's every one of them, but it's a lot of these people out here, and they just collecting that check. And the parents, foster parents that do be trying to do something half decent. If the kids came in there already bad and resentful, they got a hard way to go anyway. Because most of them don't want no, they don't want teenagers. They want newborns and shit. Because by the time you 10, 12 and up, you bad as hell. You probably disobedient as a mother. Ain't nobody trying to really put up with that type of. So you get passed around and discarded. That definitely doesn't help. But I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and two on one, and you stabbed them and got purposely and intentionally held them under the water. Those, I'm sorry, situational awareness got to be a thing going into any environment. You carry something on you at all times because you never know what you're about to walk into or who's around you. I couldn't imagine being a foster kid and you don't know these people, but y'all living all under the same roof. I'd be sleeping with my eyes open and everything. Damn. You, to lose your life to a stab wound and then like you so helpless, you can't breathe, you bleeding out, and here's two of these bastards taking the life away from you. You don't know who to go to. That gotta be real like scary shit. The loneliness you gotta feel like, damn, this is the end for me. Nobody coming to save you. And from the pictures that I seen of the one white boy that you showed, he looked like he had issues.
What was the age of him though? Because he had to be what, at least was 17, 16, 17. Because that boy was at least what, about 12, 13 that they did that to?
That white boy is 18.
Dang, he had him about what 5 years and did something like that. Shaking my head, man. Yeah, being a foster kid ain't no joke. Um, it's not no joke. It's a lot of, like you said, it's a lot of stories that happen to kids, and sad but true. It shaped their life. It shaped who they is, man. And it's hard to lay that down. What be going on in there? It's kind of similar to jail, to be honest. It's a little similar. Stuff be happening in there. These kids get molested, man. They coming in there. They know the kid ain't theirs. They molest these kids. Um, you're gonna have to probably definitely learn how to fight. That's coming. You know, the kids get bullied. This kid that we talking about tonight is no different. You know how we know they wasn't bullying them before this took place. They was probably eyeing the shit out of them. Mm, sad, man. The way it seemed like they plotted this though, bro. It seemed like they plotted this. Um, There's a whole lot of motives we can choose. We can choose with this. Like I said, when you get in there, you're in there depending on how much you went through being in that type of environment, how long you was not with your real family. It's a whole lot of built up anger in these kids. It's built up. So yeah, I seen the mug shot of him too, a straight skinhead, and he looked evil, man. He looked evil, man. He looked like, you know, he was depleted, man. Like life, depleted him. No type of hope. No, type of guidance. You know, it's crazy what be happening in them foster homes though. Like you said, they don't even give these kids a room. Some of them probably miss meals. Hell, they don't take baths. Some of them go probably days stinking and stuff. It's a lot to go on in these joints. And like I said, you stated, you got to sleep with one eye open because it can go down. Don't that sound like jail to me? That sound like jail, bro. So to know that somebody can attack you while you sleep, you ain't safe. You ain't comfortable. And you not home. You don't have your own bed to go fall back on and kick back. That's a fucked up way to live too. It really is. For a kid, you can't. While we talk about numbers, let's go back to that. Let's go back to that boat. You know that they had on Alabama last year when they got at that security guard. What happened when them numbers equaled up? That's all I want to know. What happened when it was even Steven? Then what? It was a different outcome out there. So that's another trend. All these stories, they got the advantage. There's always some type of advantage, and this one here is no different. That man ain't had nobody helping him, no protection. That little boy, mm. And with the age difference, that's why I understand it couldn't. What was the real motive? What could he have done to them?
We
Come
probably
on
never
now,
know.
like
Probably
for
never
real.
know.
So that got to be a little extra. I feel by the way they took it to him, it had to be a little extra with that, because you already got the advantage with the age and size comparison. So why would you stab him? Why would you drown him and kill him like that if he didn't present a threat? That's called hate crime.
Yeah.
But I do, going back to what you said though, I feel like when it comes to these foster homes and these establishments for trying to raise kids or bring kids up that had a troubled past, hell, I think they license need to always get renewed and get tested. They need to go up in them damn homes and see what's going on in them basements. Shit, they might got kids starving in them basements. You never know. You just said the lady had 4 or 5 locks on the refrigerator. Like, they need to examine the guidelines of having kids, because there's some guidelines to getting these checks. If you ain't following the state guidelines, you don't have a license to do this shit. And I just feel like that need to be explored a little more. Because that right there wasn't no type of care to allow something like that to happen to that boy.
Nah, that system is messed up. It gets worse, and it go beyond just the conditions, bro. It do so much so. I ended up just dropping them. Like, YouTube won't let me post them publicly, so I had to make them private or members only. That's how bad some of them joints is, because a lot of them folks are in on it. They making money off of it. It has nothing to do with developing or saving disgruntled and lost souls and none of that. It's about pocketing that extra coin. Sadly enough, I don't really have much faith in CPS and DPS and all these other. I've seen too much to really think that they got them kids' interests at heart. I don't think there was a real solid motive either for this. This just sounded like real hate.
Just evil, plain evil. And then what do these people do when the check gone? They really show their interest for your ass then. Because think about it, if you stayed with them for 4 or 5 years and they was getting that bag, getting a check off you, and then you aged up. You see what I'm saying? They not once they not benefiting off you no more, then you done. You can be gone. Put you on the street. So it need the system, like you spoke on. The system do need to shaping up when it comes to adolescents, man, because these kids go through a whole lot real young. 7 and up or something, like, especially if you're a little girl and you get up in that system. That's terrible. They gotta go through a lot, bro. And that's what I mean, especially if you're young, like I said, especially if you're young, that's what turn these kids into the monsters of tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? They start young, and now you got them on the street, but they got a whole history. You telling them to change all that happened when they were small to what they is as an adult. That shit damn near impossible. You know what I'm saying? They ain't turning back. You either gonna put them in a confinement, to protect the society, or society gonna keep filling that work. They ain't turning back. So it's sad, but that's how some of these stories turn out. So we gotta just do better, you know, with the support system. Because this shit here, this story here, I don't see no damn support. Where's the support at? But you say they locked him up, but you know, that boy life is gone.
This the one time that I could think of that the Carmelo reversal should have applied. I think the conversation would be different if the roles were reversed. He legitimately, clear as day, had a reason to kill both of them. He just didn't have the advantage. While everybody's making an excuse for the other situation. This,
Okay.
matter of fact, I'll put it this way: this
Mm-hmm.
is what the other situation looked like that they try to make it seem like it wasn't. The only difference is the black kid actually died from it.
See how it is. See how, but I'm glad you looking at that and you see how the goalposts continuously to move. Because let's just put it on the table real quick and get it out the way. What the hell really in this situation would a self defense look like compared to the Carmelo if he got stabbed and then survived the drowning and then killed both of them? Like, would have been self defense for on his side, or you know? And then you say they locked him up, so let's go to that. He ain't coming back, right? You drowned him, killed him, and all that. So Carmelo did what? Is doing what? 35. How much he gonna get?
There was two of them.
Well, how much they gonna get? You think they gonna get 30 to 40 or possible 99 like they did Melo? No, they not getting that. And the sad part is Melo, they was peers. What happened with Melo and Austin? This was a little boy. This was a little kid, and they did that too. Straight hate crime, no motives. And you gonna give them less time when that come out. Watch, it's gonna be less time. He might do under 10, both of them. They might give him 7 or something slight. They come back. They still young. Come back out after that. You ain't gonna throw the book, because the whole thing with these murders and situations is intent. That boy ain't do nothing to them. They deserve a book in a situation like that, because that was straight hate. With the Mellow, he got confronted. You saw the tape. They put hands on him. He pulled it out, got him, but it wasn't like over and over. You said they held this man head underwater and kept him there till it was over. See the difference? Then if you flip it, then if you flip it, we're gonna see what the two get. But if you flip that situation around and the boy was white, they'd get 80 years. They would never come back out. Do that. That's why I say you don't hear that happen the other way a lot, like I stated earlier in the stream, because the sentences are different. Let that sink in. Go ahead, hit your tunes. Let that sink in. Hit your tunes. Dial it up.
Bang, bang, bang,
There you
bang,
go.
bang.
The sentences are different. That's why. You know, if that went the other way and they was 18 and the white boy was 12, they're never ever coming home again. Ever. 80, if they do something like that, 80, that'll be the least. You never coming home again. That's why you don't see it on the other side a lot, because of that. So yeah, are the two gonna get time for what they did? Yeah. But are they gonna get the right time? No, they're not. It's not gonna be equality, whether it's time or crime or however you wanna lay this on the table. It's not. They're not gonna get the same time. And it's still a kick in the nuts. You know what I mean? With that. You still get kicked. So with that being said, you still don't win, even if they did get locked up.
The sentencing part has yet to be seen. I don't know what that's going to look like. Um, the of the former governor of like Arkansas or some shit like that. She was having intercourse with her son's friend in the house at a party, and she only got 90 days. So I mean, I don't like the justice system is weird as hell, man. The way they be serving and giving out this time to people. I'm sick of it. I'm over it. I wouldn't be surprised if they got a BS sentence though. I don't know. I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed though on that. They should never see the light of day again, as far as I'm concerned. Period.
I want to state also, with this situation tonight we talking about, that when you say that, that don't got nothing to do with no hate. That's that's not no that don't got nothing to do with no damn race. I'm gonna put it on the table like this. When he said that they shouldn't see the light of day, that just got something to do with humanity, bro. I would say the same shit if it was black person did that to a white kid. So you can kick rocks with that shit. That was fucked up. Same shit. I wouldn't want to see his ass out even. If you can do something like that and you a human, bro, something wrong with you. You don't need to be in society, bro. For real.
Didn't say that. Tell me you did not say that.
You want to hear it again? That's humanity. Once people look past that color shit, that's humanity right there. You don't fuck with a human being like that. How about that? Take that. You can be Chinese. Don't do them like that. Don't do nobody like that, man. For real. And if you do, you're sick and you don't fit society and your ass need to be gone. That's what I say about it. So I'm looking at it because of the intent. Because when you get up in there and it's time to hand this shit out, you gotta look at the intent and what they did, then the actions that they did. And yeah, you need to get 50 plus, 50 with an L on it or something. I mean, come on, do it right. Cause something wrong, you could, like you said, you could sell something wrong with the mind of these motherfuckers. So if you shorten the sentence and give them that little short stuff that I was talking about, they'll come back out and do that to another little kid. So that goes back to the system. What they call, matter of fact, what we say, maybe it's something wrong with the mental health. Let's go back to that mental health part. Is that the reason why he did that? Because you could tell he got some issues. But if you flip it, like I said earlier, if you flip this and it was the other way around, fuck your mentals. You gone. If this happened the other way, they wouldn't look into no shit like your health, your mental health. You done. We're not getting you no help. Matter of fact, they might, if you put the ad intent and all that the way this played out and flip it the other way, you might just have to ride that lightning. That might be the verdict. Lightning. That's straight evil, bro.
Yeah. My heart go out to that, to anybody that was directly affected by that, because I don't know if his biological family know about it. I don't know if he had any relationships with anybody where he was stationed at. That's messed up on another level. And really there's no words to express how you're supposed to feel towards something like that. But I don't know. The fatigue is real. The fatigue is real. I can't stand it. I don't know what we got to do moving forward to kind of prevent this stuff, aside from holding these establishments more accountable, exposing the darkness within these places, and getting the figureheads out of their positions of power. But yeah, shout outs to you, man. Shout outs to everybody that watched this on the playback. Check on your loved ones. Have more conversations with your peoples about stuff like this and what to do in situations like this, because you never know.
I'm gonna also put on that, touching on what you just said. That's what I was gonna bring up. If this story right here, this is for parents, if you got kids, especially if you got teenage kids. You know what I'm saying? Go hard for them. This story right here should tell you why you need to not give up on your kids and go hard for them, man. Because look at that. Look at that situation we just displayed here tonight. That could be anybody's kid. And the last thing you want to hear something is like, I wish I could have, or you regretting not doing something that you should have did, and it's too late. Now I don't know the details of the young boy's background with his family, but I mean, I want to assume that they loved him, but it didn't work out. For him to be in there with people that don't love themselves, one, and they showed him no love. So a little boy like that should have still been under the care of his family, man. And it's just sad to hear a story like that. And it's sad that that we had to talk about this tonight. But that's my message, man. Go hard for your kids. You know what I'm saying? So stuff like this won't happen to them.
With that being said, we about to get up out of here. Y'all be safe out here. Enjoy y'all remaining weekend. Do me a solid before y'all go.
What's the goddamn button?
Peace.
SummerSlam. Brock just passed it to Oba. He lost tonight. F5.